Hello and welcome back to the Q Line podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Today we've got another episode of the Yay or Nay series, as I'm sure you see. For those unaware, this is a World Series type 7-game series that it breaks a ride or attraction into 7 different categories, that being queue, story, yada yada. We'll get into it. Each of those resulting in a result of yay or nay, and then whichever has more of those takes the name of the actual ride, yay or nay. So you could call it best of 7, first to 4, either way. Whichever happens with the categories, that ride becomes a yay or nay by nobody's definition other than myself. But that's about it. I think we're about ready to just jump right into it. The rules are pretty self-explanatory. Again, I'm sure you see by the title and thumbnail, today we've got Goliath. Not a Disney or a Universal. We've got a Six Flags today. Now, obviously, you'll know going later in the episode with all the specifics, but I just want to make it clear up front. This is my Goliath, which is at Six Flags Great America. This is not... I knew there's one at Magic Mountain, so I looked it up, and I see there's Goliaths at Great America, Magic Mountain, New England, over Georgia, and there could be other ones. Goliath's clearly one of their go-tos. And that's what's weird about Six Flags. You have so many different, like, Batmans and Supermans and I guess Goliaths, and they're all just so weirdly different. But that's a topic for another day. Today we're talking about the Goliath at Six Flags Great America in Gurnee, Illinois. So, I'm going to go over just a little bit about the ride in general, and then my kind of first impression / background with it, and then I'll get into the 7 categories. Real quick, if you're on YouTube, a like and a subscribe would mean the world to me. If you're listening with just audio, a 5-star or a follow would mean the same. And yeah, let's jump right into it. So yeah, about the ride, this is definitely one of the later ones. For those who don't know, I'll throw up a picture, but it's a steel track with like wooden support, I guess. It's a really smooth coaster though. But this is one of the later Goliaths. The Magic Mountain one, I think, was 2010. It's a round number. And then this one was 2014, because I remember a while ago just looking up, like, I wonder when it opened, because I don't want to say it feels old because it's very smooth, but it has the, like, aura of an older coaster. So I look it up and it was like 2014, and I was like, damn, I guess that makes sense because this is a nice ass coaster. But that being said, yeah, it's pretty recent, but I don't have Goliaths to compare it to. If we're going to bring up that, I don't have any other Goliaths. All I know is this one. I've watched POVs of some of the other ones, or at least seen them as background footage, but none of them mean anything to me. I'm only familiar with my Goliath, and that's why we're here talking about this one. So, yeah, I guess that kind of flows into my history. I don't know what... The first time I went to this park was one of my birthdays, and I don't know if I was turning 11, 12, 13, probably more towards 11 or 12. I was younger, but not like a kid. And at the time, the biggest coaster I had done was Rock and Roller Coaster at Hollywood Studios in Florida. Excuse me. So I was not familiar or a fan of the big looping stuff. And so I remember looking up like what rides were like safe, not in a physical way, but like, what ones I would actually like doing. And I saw Raging Bull, and for some reason Goliath was in that list, and I watched the video, and even though I like saw it going upside down and stuff, it does a couple weird spins. I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. And then we go there, and I don't really remember the specifics of back then, it's all foggy, but this park is where I came over the fear of roller coasters, because it's just an insane lineup of coasters. But that all being said, yeah, I was never not a fan of it. Back in the day, I came off Rock and Roller Coaster in tears, but ever since I've been on any of these rides, I've loved roller coasters. So Goliath is definitely always in the green for me. But yeah, I don't have a big history with it. It's kind of lumped in with all those other coasters, just as a bundle. So I don't have a lot to say about it. But that all being said, we can just jump straight into our categories, which our first one is track. So the track category is basically, well, I was going to say nothing physical. Of course it's physical, but it's literally just the layout. Like, is it fun? I don't want to keep reusing the word fun because I'm probably going to in the whole episode, but is it enjoyable? Like, is it just doing a toilet bowl, or is it just doing some hills, or is it an actual complex, like a spaghetti bowl or whatever they call them, like a fun layout? I don't know. Is it a good layout for the track? And And I don't have a ton to say about this, but yes. So I guess I do have a ton. I don't know. I'm not like a coaster head officially, so I can't name you like all these elements, but I'll throw some up on screen if I remember to. But there's some really weird feeling loops in here in the best way possible, where like it will take you up upside down at the same time and then take you back down the other way, like a kind of full circle, but starting at the top. So as you're upside down, you're looking at where you're going to be when you come down and end up flipping back the right way up. There's a couple of those, and then the drop is just insane. It's a super steep drop. It's fast. It's everything you want in a roller coaster, and there's no shoulder restraints, which I love when roller coasters go upside down and fast and whatnot, but don't have the big clunky shoulder restraints. All you have is this really weird lap bar with like no handles. There's like a Velcro strap on your arm, so you could hold on to that, but most of the time I find myself holding on to just this weird cylinder on my legs, or just hands up, of course. But I love it. It's a super fast track. It's got some weird shit going on, and there's no like shoulder restraint or really anything to hold on to. So it's just thrilling, all in all. So that's an easy pass for me. That's a yay for the first one. Our next category is the queue, which pretty self-explanatory. I'm not one of those guys who needs it to be like over the top. Like, of course, I'm never going to complain with a really good queue, but you know, my qualifications aren't over the top stuff going on, stuff to keep you engaged. There's like pre-show, animatronics, this and that. Of course, I'd love all that. Nobody wouldn't, but I'm only saying enough to be thematically there, right? Even if it is switchbacks, is it switchbacks with some cool shit on the walls or the ceiling or whatever? That all being said, this ride does not have it. I mean, that's kind of just going to be a downside with if you talk about any of the Six Flags parks or rides, which I know they're trying now, and I assume it's after the Cedar Fair merge that maybe, you know, some roller coaster secret talking was done that's like, hey, by the way, you got to up the game on the queue or the queue lines. Yeah. But that all being said, no. I mean, this one's not there. There's not even like, I mean, there's a couple M&M signs that have nothing to do with it, but you know, it's Six Flags, so it's like, fuck you, here's a cool roller coaster, which I'm not opposed to. But if you're talking about whether there's a really cool queue or not, the answer is no, it's a nay. There's nothing thematically about the roller coaster. I mean, over the intercom, it's like, get ready for your battle with Goliath, which fair enough. I'm not hating on it all. It's just there's really nothing in the queue for you to look at. It's tight little switchbacks. You're going to be touching the person behind you, and they're touching you with their backpack. It is what it is. It's a fail. It's a nay on the queue, but what are you going to do? That brings me into our third category, which is story. Kind of what I was just harping on. There's really nothing there. Which, weirdly enough, for me, kind of opens up my imagination. Like, if there's nothing it's giving me, it's almost, I wouldn't say more fun, but it is really fun for me to be like, okay, damn, then what can I imagine going on? Whether I'm, you know, riding I don't even know, a horse, I guess, or I don't know. You know, I mean, it's your battle with Goliath. It's whatever. But officially, it gives you nothing, which is a little unfortunate. I don't really mind because, like I was saying, it's FU. Here's a roller coaster. It's gonna be fun. But if you're coming in looking for an actual story of what's going on the ride, there's nothing there. It's just a really cool roller coaster. Like I said, you're like battling Goliath, which I guess makes you David. But really, there's nothing that like Six Flags is giving you to you know, you're going on the ride. Here's what's happening. Here's the story. There's nothing. It's not believable. It's just a roller coaster. I'm not hating, but if we're going to go yay or nay for story, there's nothing there. Our next category is sets/effects, which is basically everything on the ride that's not the track physically. So if there's like, obviously sets, you know, like buildings and stuff, animatronics or smoke, fire, light, like effects, packs, whatever, like tech, you know, everything that's not the track that you see. And I kind of feel bad for this because it doesn't need it to advance as a roller coaster. And I think maybe I'm just biased here because I really like the ride, but I want to give it a yay because if you've seen it, or, you know, I've been throwing stuff up on screen, or if you've been there, there's enough to where it's like there's not actual like custom stuff built for this ride, right? Like there's no animatronics, there's no like statues or anything, but the way you move through the track is still enough to like look at, you know? And I don't want to be cheap here and be like, oh yeah, the sets or effects are really cool because the like track of the own ride. But I don't know. It does kind of put me there in terms of theming, like going through all this wooden shit. And like when you first go down, it is like a little, I don't want to call it tunnel. It's like a little hut, I guess. When you first that big ass drop, it goes through a little building. So I think the benefit of the doubt here is that it's a roller coaster and that's all it is. So I don't want to rank it with sets and effect. Like, there's no animatronics. There's no show scenes. There's no like revolving fucking doors or whatever. Like, I think for what it is, there's enough. And obviously there could be more. There could always be more. But I'm going to pass it out of the kindness of my heart just because I really like at least the supports that you go through, or the I guess all the support, like the wooden stuff. I think it adds enough to at least put me in a spot that's not just a roller coaster. I'm at least, I don't know. It's a fun place to be. So I'm gonna give it a yay. That brings us to category number 5, which is re-rideability. And I've said this before on the show, but by my logic, this is basically within the same day, do I want to ride it again, right? Not immediately as I walk off, we need to do it again, because I don't think it's fair. Like, not every ride is going to be like that. So my qualification is, if I get off, am I thinking, if there's enough time in the day, this is one I want to redo, you know? Or if I had to do, or if I could only do like 1, 2, maybe 3 more rides in the day, it's like 8 o'clock or whatever, would this be one of my top picks? And for that, I say yay, 100%. Within this park, there's like kind of not a single ride I wouldn't re-ride. So they're all kind of, you know, A or S tier in that aspect. But in regards of this ride, if I'm gonna judge it on, is it re-rideable? I think 100% yay. Anyone who knows, getting off this is just like a rush of adrenaline. And even though it's like, obviously you're not gonna die on it, it's one of those where it's like you could, you know, it's so fast you could start crying just with the wind hitting your face. And I don't know, it's, yeah, like if it's a shorter line at night and I see it, it's like, this is one I'm gonna re-ride. So 100% yay for this one. Like I said, there's not a lot at this park that I wouldn't redo. So I guess if I'm basing it off of this park, is it like top 3 or whatever? Maybe I'd question it, but just this ride itself, re-rideability, 100%. It's there. If I had the chance, I would completely do it again. Yes, 100%. That brings us to category number 6, which is innovation. Pretty self-explanatory. I mean, a lot of these roller coasters go for big records, and I just fact-checked, and yeah, when this one opened, it broke 3 records for a wooden roller coaster, that being the longest drop, the steepest drop, and the fastest speed. Yeah, 85 degrees. It's a steep one. So in terms of innovation, I don't know if that's a benefit or not, or if that's a plus or a minus for itself, because at least for me, a lot of the time with the roller coaster records, it's like, it doesn't really hook me. Like, I see something really cool, I want to ride it. I mean, any of these rides I'm going to ride. But I don't like how, at least, I don't know if it's always been like this, you know, I'm not too old in this world, but at least all the modern stuff I see, it's like the only advertisement made for roller coasters is what records it breaks. So, I mean, we're talking about innovation here, so it's debatable if it's passing just because of records, but I don't know, it's a separate topic. I don't like when the main pitch of a ride is just the records it breaks, because I don't want to say it feels lazy, because obviously, you know, there's people whose real job and passion is working on these stuff. It's not like they're just doing it only to do records, but I just feel weird where it's like in the meeting room, I wonder if it's like, hey, you know, if we made the drop 1 degree more, it could break a record, which I'm not complaining about 1 more degree on a drop. You know, it's fun at the end of the day, but I just wish the advertisement was more about theming or just enjoyability. I don't know. It feels weird how any roller coaster these days is just, oh, also it's the longest, you know, this, that does this, wooden coaster or steel coaster or, you know, hanging coaster. It's like, it's always about a record. But that all being said, for innovation, I think I decided on a nay, actually. Just because, I don't know. I don't think that's really innovation. Like, that gives it a cool record to break, but it's not innovating the game. It's just kind of upping the game of where it already was. Innovation is like the first trackless dark ride or the first like boat ride in 1940, 50, whatever. I don't think this really gives it the innovation credit. Even within the park, I mean, you could say it's like the first. I don't know. It's got its records, but I don't think that counts for innovation. So I'm gonna give it an A. I had to debate that in my head for a sec. Sorry, but I just don't think that counts. That brings us to category 7, and for those keeping track, or I guess for those not keeping track, we're 3-3 right now. So this is a tiebreaker right here. We got 3 yays, 3 nays on this baby. Our 7th category is impact / place in park. So impact, they both have their own little rules. I don't know. Impact is like the impact on roller coasters as a whole, but also the park. And then place in park is both physically and, I don't have the word, I always say metaphorically or spiritually, but like, does it fit, like putting a spaceship ride in Tomorrowland, like the place in park, it fits. And then also, like, let's say Space Mountain, for example, the place in park is like good because it added a high-speed roller coaster to Magic Kingdom and it fits in Tomorrowland thematically. So that's what I mean by place in park. Within like physically, does it make sense for theming, and spiritually, does it make sense for the park? I don't know what I'm going at. Anyway, I think a yay, actually, because I had this whole debate going with the records for does it count for innovation, counts for impact as much as I want to, harp on it. Got some impact in the roller coaster world. I mean, it was the steepest drop on a wooden roller coaster. And its impact on Six Flags as a whole, I think, is awesome. I mean, we clearly already had a couple other Goliaths, but nobody's complaining about more roller coasters. As for place in the park, I think it's also perfect. I mean, if you look at a map, it's like this perfect middle spot. So you have like in the Southwest Territory, and then it doesn't have a name, I guess the Carnival area, and then Goliath is right in the middle. Then you have the DC stuff after. So it's like, it's nice right in the middle of the park. You have this high-speed freaking beast. And then spiritually, place in park, I think also works. It's another roller coaster on the list. It's definitely one of the more intense ones. I mean, you got Max Force, and let's see. For intensity, this might be number 1. I mean, you could call Superman just the way it feels on your stomach, but I think undeniably this is a yay for the impact and the place in the park. It's just a good ride. I don't think anyone doesn't want it there. And so once again, if you're not following along, that's a yay for all of it. That is 4 yays to 3 nays. That's a close one. But I'm happy with that, actually. I was wondering if I gave a Six Flags ride this rubric, would it go through the same? And fair enough for the queue and stuff, but I think that's fair for it to get a yay overall. I want to do one thing at the end of these episodes now is go over anything I would change about it or add if I could. And I think the only thing I would do is, well, okay, you could say this for any ride, but first of all, on onboard audio, any ride with music playing out of the speakers in a ride vehicle, or even just sound effects, like doubles how enjoyable it is. So onboard audio, sure. But then any sort of additional theming, whether that be on the track, like during the ride, or even in the queue, it could just be one or the other. I don't need both, but that's the one thing I would change is any sort of theming, or just a freaking sign in the launch station that's like, hey, you're about to, go through this and do that because you're fighting this. I'm a fan of fuck-ass story, so even if it's the stupidest thing they could come up with, just having a story there would be, that would sell it for me. So I guess that's 2 things. I would do onboard audio and any sort of theming. But yeah, the verdict is a yay. That is a yay for this ride. Barely made it 4-3, but it got there. And that's going to wrap up this episode. If you made it this far, I do really appreciate it. It means the world to me. Again, a like and a subscribe would also mean the world to me. Anything to get this little ball rolling. I thank you so much for tuning in, and I really do hope to see you in the next one. So thank you for listening, and goodbye.